All right. Uh, Lord Mountain is a Santa Rosa, California based heavy doom metal band, and one that kind of straddles the line between uh, modernity and classic, very much classics oriented sounds on The Oath, which is their debut full length. Um, so basically, this band put out a fairly standard EP back in 2016, and it's one of those records where it's like, here's my first serious stoner doom, traditional doom, heavy metal kind of thing, and it the talent of the individuals was obvious. The songwriting was just kind of average. It didn't have a lot of the character that traditional doom metal kind of needs to stand out in both modern and classic circles. So fast forward, I think they'd finished this album by 2019. I forget what the timeline was for it, but they have this record where they've put a lot of time in with like Pagan Altar Records, Solstice Records, Cirith Ungol, and come out of it really understanding the importance of the rhythm section and developing interest and character, while also uh, feeling a lot more of the traditional heavy metal that we find again in like a Solstice record, a Wheel record, or minus the Candlemass touches there, and maybe a Magister Templi is the example I use. Uh, these are not spot on comparisons so much as they're giving you a sense of the kind of old school atmosphere of this record. It is a heavy metal record at heart, and its best points are sort of jogging in between points on the quest to the end. And that's the way I kind of see this overall story of the Oath, is that it's presented in a shorter novella kind of form, maybe not even intentionally in terms of how the songs line up, but we do go from point A to point B, and the mood changes along the way. The subjects come up and depict various scenes that are going to please people who like a bit of high fantasy in their heavy metal. So beyond this point, it's just the guitar work is especially fine. Vocals are so as much as the vocals don't have the personality of any of the bands that I mentioned, the sort of somber, tempered distance of the vocals works really well with the to create a mood here, a unique mood for the Oath, which it does feel rooted in high fantasy heavy metal without the kind of uh, how would I put it, like a cockish personality up front, which it does stand out on like a Cirith Ungol record or something like that. So what we get instead is a record that really impresses by way of its rhythms again and its movement through each piece. Uh, so yeah, it tells a story, and I think it's more important than whatever I've said before that. And it's one that definitely has again this sort of balance between what is old, 80s to metal, and what is a little bit more new. So maybe the 2010s and on, um, cleaning up of a lot of those ideas and revision on it. So you know, it's it's such a nice record to just sit down with and enjoy. I think it's memorable throughout. Of course, I always think that a heavy metal vocalist needs to have an outrageous personality, just because that's what I grew up with. That's what I understand heavy metal to be. It's about a big, bold personality. So there is that aspect missing for me where I, if you're going to do such a bardic treatment of traditional doom metal, yeah, it should feel like your own book, your own authorship, and they mostly get there with this debut. It's really well done. Um, so I definitely recommend it. I gave it a high recommendation here, and there's obviously a lot more detail in the review that you can pick through and sort of figure out your own references for like what this band sounds like to you. I don't think that's the important part of it though. So yeah, see if it's your thing. There you go.